Welcome to this AISA geographic documentary on the water crisis in my hometown, Debrecen. Hungary, a landlocked nation in Central Europe, has always faced water challenges. Its two major rivers, the Danube and the Tisza, are prone to both floods and droughts. This unpredictable water supply has shaped Hungary's history, forcing its people to adapt and innovate. However, the 21st century has brought new and unprecedented water woes, particularly in the city of Debrecen. The people of Debrecen are facing a growing water crisis. The most immediate impact is the shortage of drinking water. Tap water is often discolored and foul-smelling, raising concerns about its safety. Residents are forced to rely on bottled water for drinking and cooking, a significant expense that adds to their daily struggles. Farmers, the backbone of Debrecen's economy, are also feeling the strain. The lack of water for irrigation has led to crop failures and livestock losses. Many fear for their livelihoods as their fields turn arid and their animals go thirsty. The environment too is bearing the brunt of the water crisis. Wetlands are drying up, threatening biodiversity and disrupting delicate ecosystems. The arrival of foreign battery factories in Debrecen, while intended to boost the local economy, has exacerbated the water crisis. These factories require vast amounts of water for their manufacturing processes, putting immense pressure on the already strained water resources. Moreover, the wastewater discharged from these factories contains heavy metals and other pollutants, posing a serious threat to the environment and public health. The Hungarian government's decision to attract foreign investment in industries with high water demands without adequate environmental safeguards has come under sharp criticism. Critics argue that the short-term economic gains from these industries are outweighed by the long-term environmental and social costs. Section 4. Progress or Peril. Hungary's Balancing Act. Hungary, like many developing nations, faces a difficult balancing act, reconciling economic growth with environmental sustainability. The desire for progress and prosperity is understandable, especially in a country that has endured economic hardship. However, the pursuit of economic development at the expense of the environment is a dangerous path, as the situation in Debrecen clearly demonstrates. The Hungarian government's push for industrial investment has no doubt brought economic benefits. However, the lack of stringent environmental regulations and the failure to anticipate the environmental impact of these industries have created a crisis in Debrecen. The question now is, can Hungary learn from its mistakes and find a more sustainable path forward? Section 5. Quenching Debrecen's Thirst, a two-pronged approach. Addressing Debrecen's water crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Two potential solutions stand out: stricter environmental regulations and investment in water infrastructure. Firstly, stricter environmental regulations for industries, particularly those with high water demands, are crucial. These regulations should mandate water-efficient technologies, limit the amount of water used, and enforce strict standards for wastewater treatment and discharge. Such measures would reduce the burden on existing water resources and mitigate the risk of further pollution. Secondly, investment in water infrastructure is essential. This includes upgrading aging water distribution systems to reduce leaks and losses, modernizing irrigation techniques to minimize water usage in agriculture, and exploring alternative water sources such as rainwater harvesting and water reuse. Section 6. A Reservoir of Hope. Weighing the final option. One proposed solution, the construction of a large water reservoir, has sparked debate. Proponents argue that a reservoir would provide a much-needed buffer against droughts and ensure a more reliable water supply for Debrecen. However, opponents raise concerns about the environmental impact of such a project, including habitat destruction and potential disruption of natural water flows. The decision of whether or not to build a reservoir is a complex one, requiring careful consideration of the potential benefits and drawbacks. It is essential to conduct a thorough environmental impact assessment and engage in open and transparent dialogue with all stakeholders, including residents, farmers, and environmental experts. Ultimately, the chosen solution must prioritize the long-term well-being of both the people and the environment of Debrecen.